Welcome back to Diary of a Sheep Dairy Farmer. I'm Becca, your host. Happy New Year. This is going to be a little different this year. I have video, and I'm not doing any intros, any outros, no bells, no whistles, no music, just you, me, and all my rambling thoughts. So, what happened in 2025? I thought last year was going to be my year. It was my year of change. That was my word of the year last year, change, because we had a lot going on between what my husband had going on with his job and taking on a new job, and me being solo on the farm. And silly me thought I could handle it. Not so much. I learned very, very quickly I can't do it all on my own. So with my husband starting his new job in January, I went through lambing by myself, which I didn't think was going to be that big of an issue, but it nearly did me in. I was wrung out. I was dragging. I was ready to not sell everything, but I was pretty close to wanting to, I don't want to say be done, but get rid of the majority of the sheep and take a very, very long vacation. I came to the realization then that I could not lamb out near what I had been doing in the past. Even with the job my husband had before, he was still able to come and help me. The job he has now, not a chance. I'm lucky if he gets home before 7, 8 o'clock at night. So for him, he's here on the weekends, which is great. Sometimes. He's not always here on the weekends. A lot of times those weekends we have functions, we have benefits, we have fundraisers, we have auctions, we have dinners, we have stuff that he's committed to with this new role that I get committed to, and it's just a lot. So the very first thing when I came to this realization that I couldn't do everything I wanted to on my own, we downsized the flock. I went from 400 head of sheep. I now have around about 150 ewes. I did a drastic cull. It hurt. I'm not going to lie. It hurt. I did not want to get rid of that many sheep. I did a drastic, just, this is the date. Anything older than this date has to go. And that's what I did. So I took everything that was basically from 2018 and older, and we shipped them. I just wasn't going to mess with any private sales because they were such older sheep. I try not to think about it too hard because there were a lot of my favorites in there. So yes, it was a very drastic, and I got rid of anything of the younger ewes. I got rid of anything that was not the best milking lines. So out of my best milkers, I went down the list and I kept all the ewes, all their lambs, and just kept that entire breeding line. And then anything that wasn't fabulous, they went. So it was a drastic downsizing. The other thing that I really wanted to do last year was going to be my year to milk. I said it at the beginning of the year. I was going to milk come hell or high water. Didn't happen. It just did not happen. If you watch over on my YouTube at Hidden Hollow Sheep Dairy, you know that my stanchions are broken. We had some renters and they were milking in the milking barn and they broke the head stalls on my stanchions and they never told us. And so when we went to go milk after they left, we learned that the stanchions were broken and it takes two people to milk because one person has to stand up there and babysit the sheep so they stay in the stanchion while the other person puts the milkers on and off the ewes. I'm a one-man band now. I don't have an extra person to help. So we're on a waiting list. I kind of have a feeling we've been forgotten, and I need to have my husband double check into it. But as of last year, we were on a waiting list to have our stanchions fixed, and they are stainless steel, and there are not very many people in our area that weld stainless steel. And I'm hoping we're still on the waiting list. But like I said, it's been almost a year and I kind of feel like we've been either forgotten or something happened. I don't even know who my husband contacted for me to go and say, I can just call him up and find out. So we have that going for us. But once that is the reason, that is, I want to say that's the only reason I didn't milk last year, but let's be honest, I had lots of other reasons I did not get to it. But that was the main reason, is that my stanchions are broken. I cannot get my sheep into them. Could I hand milk them and just stick them in, I have like an orphan head gate that I could use? I could. Would it be ideal? No. Would I be milking into a bucket? Yes. Would it be ideal? No. Could I still do it? Yes. Do I want to? No. So I just did not get to milking last year. So it's on my to-do list. I have 2 planners that I'm working out of this year. And on one of them, I have a to-do list, and that is like number 1 on my list is to get my stanchions fixed this year so that I can be milking. And I'm hoping that I'm still on the waiting list and that they just had such an extensive list and that I didn't get forgotten. I'm hoping. So, all that being said, I just did not have enough time last year to keep up with everything. So we had to downsize the flock. I couldn't milk due to basically just time management, broken stanchions, and the podcast kind of went by the wayside. I thought I could keep up with it. I told myself it wouldn't be that hard to throw out an episode every couple weeks. But again, I'm just one person. I'm still trying to do fencing. I'm dealing with the sheep. I'm dealing with hay. Oh, that was a whole nother issue on the farm last year. Let's not even get into that. That I'm trying to just put out of my memory, hoping this coming year will be so much better. But something had to give, and unfortunately the podcast was the one thing I had to completely give up just for my own sanity, to be able to keep up with everything on the farm that was basically keeping the sheep alive, keeping the hay going, keeping my family alive. Kind of had to deal with them as well. So this year I am hoping that we will be able to continue moving forward. So then that brings us to what is new for 2026. First off, to fix the stanchions. That is the high priority on my list this year. getting the stanchions fixed so that I can milk. It's really hard to run a dairy sheep farm and not be milking the dairy sheep. I might as well just get rid of the dairy sheep and get meat sheep if I'm not going to be milking, because honestly, there's no point in having milk sheep if I'm not milking the sheep. So stanchions are like a high priority. So the other thing that I want to do has to do with the podcast, and that is I will probably not be posting weekly. It will become a bi-weekly podcast, as best as I possibly can. I can't guarantee it. I do have a life. I do have a family. I do have a farm to run, but I'm going to try my best and get episodes out every 2 weeks. And with that, some things I would like to bring you along with on the podcast for this season, this year, is basically what you need if you are wanting to start a sheep dairy. There's so many things, so many neat things out there of what you can get. And I mean, even if it's not a sheep dairy, even if you're just wanting to get into sheep, there's all the cool stuff out there to be able to get when you get sheep. I have bought a lot of things for my sheep. Things I thought I needed, and I'll bet I've never used. So I want to bring you a list of the things that what you actually need to start your sheep dairy. Not what everyone says you have to have. And things that I have bought versus what I actually use. And then what I spent my money on versus what I should have spent my money on. Kind of a little series on what is out there and what actually will benefit you. And then I will bring you lambing updates, the good, the bad, the ugly. Like I said, we have downsized drastically for this year. So my breeding groups are not going to be 100 ewes anymore. They are closer to around the 50, 60 ewe mark, which will simplify my life quite a bit, but I know it's not quite as much fun for everybody else watching because there's not the huge amount of lambs being born, but there's still lambs being born. There's still trouble that happens. And so we'll bring you those updates as they happen. We will start lambing about, I think, the 12th or the 13th of February. So just about 45-ish days away. And then basically whatever strikes my fancy. Or if you have questions, if you have things you want to know about, if you have ideas, send them my way. I will do my best to answer with the limited knowledge I have. I'm not an expert. I'm just a girl on a farm that has, I was going to say has time on my hands, but I don't. I have no time on my hands. I have a desire to share the limited knowledge that I have. That's what I have. So there you go. That is what happened in 2025 and what is new for 2026. So I hope you will stick with us for this coming year, and we'll see you on the next one.